Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. We're real proud in Fort Worth, and we pride ourselves in talking about we're the place where the West begins. And if you know a little history, Manifest Destiny and going across to the other side of the nation, that was the last place people would feel like they were in civilization before they went off into very dangerous places west of Fort Worth on their way to California. So I'm wondering what happened to our grit from our leaders, and I consider many of you leaders as well. What happened to our Texas tough? How bad do you need an advantage in order to win? You know, I'm a golfer, I'm a scratch golfer. That's why we have a handicap system. I don't want to play with somebody in the fifth flight. I want to play with somebody in the championship flight. We believe in high school football, and we have 6A all the way down to 1A or 2A. I can't imagine any of you would want to pit your 2A team against a 6A team. Or if you're a boxer, like I was in my youth, I was a middleweight. I'm not going to fight the lightweight. I already know the result. Even in bull riding, the champion wants the best bull, because even the bull is graded. Texas tough. You want competition. What's happening today isn't competition. So I love the fact that every day, including today, we get to start out our day with a prayer. And in today's prayer, the pastor said, and I quote, "Let's give thanks for America. Let's give thanks for an America where people are free, where people can live." And members, that was a message for all of us. Message that America should be a place where people are free to choose their representatives, not to vote in an election where they already know who their winner will be. So let's not be fooled in passing this bill. We are not free. People are not free to vote their interests. They aren't free to vote for people that have their same values because of the way you've split us apart. They aren't free to vote for somebody that has the same lived values, and it's proven by what you've done in the Latino and Black communities. Under this bill, Texans aren't free to make a politician pay at the ballot as we say why we want electeds. Under this bill, Texans aren't free to reject a politician who can take away SNAP benefits from the hungry children and families. Texans aren't free to reject a politician who's taking away Medicaid and health care from what's already the most underinsured state in the nation. Texans aren't free to fire a politician for taking away federal dollars for sake of giving his billionaire friends tax breaks. And Texans aren't free to reject the idea that children and families should be locked up in private, for-profit prisons, all just because they're seeking a better life and putting it on the dime and the backs of the American taxpayer. Young men and women all over Texas, and even in my community in DFW, they aren't free to dream just as I did of one day being a U.S. congressperson. Because you've taken away that right through this map. You know, this bill, it determines the victor, and that's not freedom. That's forced subjugation, subordination, and that's oppression. This bill's a gross attempt to make Texans give up, to believe that their vote doesn't matter because the outcome is predetermined. That's not democracy. That's dangerous. And in fact, you too, you yourself, you're not even free to vote your conscience. You've been told exactly how to vote today. You've been harassed, threatened with the future loss of your seat, just as you were with the voucher scam. This is and should be the land of the free, not the land of where you must agree with me. You too have an oppressor. When Donald Trump asked for 5 more seats, your decision was made, and it was made at the expense of communities of color. Their political representation has been a target of this bill. And you're making that decision in your mind for political preservation. You made that decision and you're making that decision out of fear. It's a political calculation. You are not free to be courageous and vote with your heart. One of the first times I ever came here, there was a mass, and the bishop gave a mass, and he said in Jewish times, men didn't make their decisions in their mind, they made them in their heart. Because then you could really tell what kind of heart a person had. And you may tell yourself that your heart is colorblind, but that's far from the reality of what these maps are. The intention of the map drawers, where is their heart? And for that matter, any member that votes for this map. If you truly believe in freedom and you believe in liberty, then you would believe in the principles of the American Revolution and the early Americans that fought because they understood and fought against taxation without representation. And you would vote no because that's exactly what this bill does. And by voting yes today, you're trying to take away that American belief in the democratic process, and you put us on a path to dictatorship. And you're no better, and we're no better than the monarchy that we left behind. You want people to give up, and we won't. So now's the time to be brave and courageous. Now's the time to honor that pledge that we give every day that ends in justice for all. If we don't stand up for justice today, we will be on the same path where people are not heard, where their interests are not represented in their government, and where people will rise up and fight back. I will not give up on our trust in a pure American democracy because the Constitution is worth fighting for. The promises it provides are worth fighting for. The communities that we represent are worth fighting for. Para todos los que están escuchando en español, les digo una honra que hay aquí en esta Cámara de Representantes es que empezamos todos los días con una oración. Y hoy el pastor dijo, hay que dar gracias por América. Hay que dar gracias por la América donde la gente, donde el pueblo es libre, donde la gente puede vivir. Y ese mensaje fue para todos nosotros, todos los diputados, que América debe de ser un lugar donde la gente, donde el pueblo escoge sus representantes, no una elección donde ya sabemos quién va a ganar. Los Estados Unidos no se puede convertir a un país como el que dejamos porque venimos aquí por refugio, porque las promesas de la Constitución americana son diferentes de nuestros propios países. Aquí vivimos donde uno que es elegido tiene una responsabilidad al pueblo, no al revés. Y por eso le pido a todo el pueblo que ponga atención, que cuando ellos dicen que sus valores de ellos son más unidos a los de nosotros, esto y este rediseño de estas mapas es como nos quitan de la mesa que ya estamos. Nos quitan nuestras voces donde ya tenemos puesto, donde ustedes ya han votado por sus representantes, y con esta actuación de esta Cámara de Representantes nos dejan en silencio, nos quieren ver, no nos quieren escuchar, y ustedes son que va a hacer la diferencia y van a luchar para la democracia que merecemos. Por eso, miembros, les espero y les pido que voten no.
Thomas, for what purpose?